Hi, we're ready to talk about joining a conversation. So, again, at this stage, we really are combining a number of skills that were taught separately. And in combining them together, we come up with an overriding, more complex skill like joining a conversation. So, you would see, for example, that step number three is not interrupting your friends. And step number 4 and 5 are on topic questions and comments. They learned that on the staying on topic lesson. And then, of course, complimenting, which was another lesson as well. So combining these together provides a format for your child to join a conversation. So the first step, of course, is that they approach the group they want to join. And it could be a two-person group, a three-person group, whatever the size, the group is already established, and they need to make their way over to that group. This demonstrates one of the differences between starting a conversation and joining. When your child starts a conversation, they have a little bit more control because they get to decide what they want to talk about, or at least one of the things to talk about, because they can already have it on their mind as to what they would like to talk to their friend about. But also they get to choose perhaps who they talk to. But in joining a conversation, because the group is already formed, they have less control over that. So they walk over, and then the second step is where we teach the child to slow down a bit and then pick up on what the group is talking about. So you're not diving right in, actually. You come on and up. You might smile, might wave, might even get a hi in there. But the idea is that you're not really joining the conversation yet until you have an idea of what they're talking about first. When you identify the topic, then you're ready for step 3 and 4. At step 3, your child's ready to join the conversation because they have the topic in mind. They know what the kids are talking about. But we, again, slow them down a bit because the timing is everything. And as we discussed before, it's very complicated when you try to time when it's your turn to talk. In a two-person group, it's complicated, but when your child's already joining a conversation, then your child makes they're the third person. At least, though if it's a larger group, there's even more people to track. So just to play it safe, we do coach the children on waiting about 2 seconds, just to be sure that there's a long enough pause for them to jump in. And then step number 4 is asking an on-topic question. Now, many kids would think they would just ask, what are you talking about? It is a what question. What is there? And the word what is there under number 4. But because step number 2 happened, where they listened for the topic first and they identified what it is, they don't have to ask what the topic is about. They already know. So they can actually jump right in, right off the bat, with an on-topic question. So immediately your child is potentially adding to the conversation. There's nothing wrong with going up to somebody or a group of kids and asking, what are you talking about? Friends do that all the time. We're aware, though, that for some of the children we work with, they might be trying to join a conversation where some of the kids are not established friends yet, perhaps. And so it just puts the child in a better position when they start right off the bat with an on-topic question, because they are immediately adding to the conversation. The conversation has already been identified, the topic, so when a child asks that question, there's a real chance that they're actually bringing some value to the conversation, which is what we're teaching the children to do. So, for example, we can talk about the topic could be that the kids are talking about a movie they just saw. And let's pretend that it was The Green Lantern. It's a relatively newer movie that's out. And so your son or daughter walks up. They already know the topic. They wait a few seconds in between people talking, and they jump right in. And instead of asking, what are you talking about, they actually jump right in and say, what's your favorite part of the movie? Or did you like the movie? I heard it wasn't very good. Or they could say, they could ask, where did you see it? Who did you see it with? All kinds of questions. And immediately it adds to the conversation. It potentially adds to the conversation. The question is listed first before comment, and we went through this with the other lessons starting a conversation. The question is listed first because it's kind of a warm-up, and they can ask one or two questions, and then they can jump in with at some point with an on-topic comment. And so, for example, it could be something like, what was your favorite part? Oh, wow. And did you like that scene? Because let's pretend that your son saw it as well. They can ask, did you like that one scene? It was my favorite. And then they can make a comment, which I kind of already did there, when they jump in and say, hey, I liked this other part, or this was my favorite part. But and it's information. But the question at times can be a little bit more powerful when joining a conversation when you use the question up front, because it does involve the other person right away. Now, interesting enough, if your son or daughter was trying to join a conversation and the topic happened to be Green Lantern and they didn't see the movie Green Lantern, then some kids would think that they were stuck, but that's not the case. You don't have to know the movie at all to ask questions. You can ask, what's your favorite part? Did you like the character? Was it the same as the comic book series? Did you like it better than Captain America or Iron Man? I mean, there's all kinds of questions you can ask, and I've never seen the movie, yet you're adding to the conversation. You're joining the conversation. So that's why the question format is really stressed first. And of course, if you have seen the movie or if you have something else to say besides a question, that would be step number 5, using a comment. Finally, compliment is another step that's added, and when combined with all of this, a compliment is a way that a child is really providing another source or form of value in a conversation. It could be something along the lines like, "So, what was your favorite part? Oh, wow, yeah, I heard that was really cool. And who did you see it with?" And then you can, at one point, then say something like, "Yeah, I think I would like to see that movie. Wow, so that was really cool. So, yeah, you always see the coolest movies." And there's the compliment. And the whole point is that it's teaching the children to, first of all, be on topic, to know the topic, and then to be on topic, and to use questions primarily, and then some comments, and then throw in a compliment, which again solidifies their place in the conversation as adding value to that conversation. The conversation, not only did your child join the conversation successfully, but the conversation perhaps ended up being a better group conversation because your son or daughter added some value to it. So that would be joining a conversation. Some of the future lessons will be maintaining the conversation, which is the part of the conversation that's in the middle. And it's interesting because when you look at different how-to books and social skill type information out there, you'll see a lot of attention on beginning and ending a conversation. But maintaining a conversation doesn't always get as much attention. And it happens to be the largest part of the conversation and the most complicated in some ways, because it's one thing to get in, but then, of course, to keep yourself involved can be, for some children, very, very difficult. So that will be upcoming, and then ending a conversation successfully so that you end it with communicating to the friend or friends that that this was good, and I look forward to talking again. There's a way to say that when you end the conversation. And then the other area that is particularly a good skill to learn is being a bit of a social detective and picking up topics of interest that you think your friend or friends might want to talk about. So that will be, and that will all factor in it in the future videos. Thanks.